He sits in silence. But the noise isn't outside, it's within. His thoughts spiral like a storm with no center. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if it all falls apart? Overthinking, the art of suffering twice. This is where many lose themselves. Not in action, not in life, but in thought. Thoughts that repeat, distort, multiply, until clarity is a stranger. But centuries ago, one man sat with the same storm and looked in the eye. His name was Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, a master of self, and his wisdom holds the key to breaking free from this mental prison. This is a story of how the Stoics cured overthinking and how you can master your storm, one clear thought at a time. Overthinking is not intelligence. It is untrained imagination. It is the mind, left alone with its fears, weaving stories without end. And according to Seneca, the real suffering doesn't come from reality. It comes from our interpretation of it. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca, the mind anticipates pain before it ever arrives. It rehearses tragedy. It writes catastrophes as if they are inevitable. This is not caution. It's self-harm in disguise. Why do we do this? Because we think. Thinking equals control. But in truth, the more we overthink, the less we act. And the less we act, the more powerless we feel. Overthinking is the enemy of clarity. It clutters the path. It fogs the destination. And the Stoics knew, you cannot control what you do not confront. So what did they do? They trained the mind. They didn't eliminate thoughts. They disciplined them. Seneca wasn't born wise. He was made wise through suffering. He battled illness, faced exile, lost loved ones. He lived in constant political danger under Emperor Nero, a ruler as unstable as the mind of a man in panic. Yet through it all, Seneca wrote with calm, clarity, and courage. How? He understood the true danger wasn't the world. It was how we imagine it. There is nothing so wretched or foolish as to anticipate misfortunes. What madness it is to be expecting evil before it arrives. Anxiety, he taught, is fueled by our mental rehearsals of disaster. We priests suffer for events that may never happen. And even if they do happen, we suffer twice. Seneca trained himself and urged others to separate reality from imagination, to ask, is this happening now? Or am I inventing it? And if it's only in your head, he'd say, you've given it power it does not deserve. But here lies a paradox. If overthinking leads to anxiety, then why would the Stoics encourage imagining worst-case scenarios? Because not all thought is the same. The Stoics didn't believe in worry. They believed in preparedness. They practiced a technique called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It sounds grim, but it's freeing. Imagine losing what you take for granted. Imagine failure, rejection, poverty, illness, Death, not to dwell, but to prepare. Not to panic, but to train. Seneca wrote, "He robs present ills of their power who has anticipated their coming." When you imagine calmly and clearly what could go wrong, without panic, you transform the unknown into the known. You become less fragile. You stop fearing loss because you've mentally rehearsed how you'll respond. This is not overthinking. This is Stoic mental training. It teaches a mind. You can endure. You are not helpless, and you will act when the time comes. Overthinking thrives in inaction, and the Stoic cure is simple. Do something. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." No endless debate. No looping analysis. If the path is unclear, start walking. The Stoics believe that thought should lead to decisive action, not delay. Here's how to apply Stoic action-oriented thinking. 1. Define the problem clearly. Don't ask vague questions. Get specific. 2. Separate what you control from what you don't. You can't control outcomes, but you can control your response. 3. Focus on the next small step. Don't wait for motivation. Let motion create clarity. 4. Accept uncertainty as part of the process. Stop trying to remove all risk. Learn to walk with it. Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Overthinking makes the mountain taller than it is. Action brings it back to scale. So, what is the Stoic cure for overthinking? Not suppression, not distraction, but clarity, discipline, and courage. Use Seneca's wisdom to expose imagination's tricks. Practice negative visualization, not to suffer, but to train. And take purposeful action, however small, because motion is the enemy of stagnation. The storm you feel is real, but its power comes from your belief in its permanence. Storms pass, and so do thoughts. All you need is to train the mind to sit with them, and then to rise and act anyway. In the end, overthinking is not your enemy. Inaction is. The Stoics didn't promise a quiet mind. They promised a strong one. And through Seneca's words, through your own discipline, you too can train yourself to stand still in the chaos, to see clearly in confusion, and to master your storm. This is your path. This is your training. And it begins, not in thought, but in the next step you take,